What's up, Steelers Nation? Before we get into today's massive update, let me start by saying this. Your Pittsburgh Steelers are doing everything they can to improve, to adjust, and to push for real results down the stretch of this season. This team is grinding every single day to put a better product on the field. So if you appreciate the work this team is putting in, and you appreciate getting real, detailed Steelers news right here, then do me a huge favor. Hit that like button before we dive in. It helps the channel grow, it supports the content, and it fires me up to keep bringing you these breakdowns. Now let's get to today's headline. Aaron Rodgers just gave the Steelers their most encouraging sign yet as we head toward Week 32. After missing Week 24 against the Chicago Bears, Aaron Rodgers was not expected to practice much this week. The Steelers plan to limit him, keep him protected, and simply monitor him step by step. But today, Rodgers was back on the field earlier than expected, and that is the biggest sign yet that he could return sooner rather than later. Rodgers is still wearing a brace. He still can't take snaps on the center, at least not yet. But the fact that he's moving, throwing, and engaging in practice drills is exactly what the team needed to see. And listen, the Steelers don't need Rodgers to be perfect right now. They just need to know he's progressing without long-term risk. Mike Tomlin explained it perfectly. What he needs and what others might need are certainly different topics of conversation. We don't focus on the bare minimum. Our goal is to proceed with caution while giving him all the work we can afford. We live this day by day. That's classic Tomlin. Calculated, cautious, but still pushing Rodgers forward. Every morning, Rodgers checks in with head trainer Gabe Mpanza. They build a plan, they adapt, they react to how Rodgers' body responds. And right now, the body is responding well. Now, if Rodgers still isn't physically ready by Sunday, the Steelers will roll again with Mason Rudolph. Rudolph wasn't happy with his Week 24 performance, and he shouldn't be. The stats were okay: 24 of 31, 171 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But the tape tells a different story. Rudolph knows it, fans know it, the coaches know it. He said, "We made a couple of mistakes, had some turnovers, and miscommunication on a scramble. That's on me. We're moving on to a new week." You can feel the frustration in his words. But the reality is simple. Rudolph wants clarity, the team wants caution, Rodgers wants to return, Tomlin wants to be smart. This is the balancing act. If the Steelers list Rodgers as questionable, they'll hold a Saturday walkthrough and determine his final status right before kickoff. One thing is clear. The Steelers want Rodgers out there, but only if he can protect himself. Now, let's shift to the matchup because Steelers Nation, listen closely. This game is enormous. The Steelers are no longer first in the AFC North. The Bills are heavy favorites, and Pittsburgh is running out of time to control its destiny. But here's the thing. These are exactly the types of games Mike Tomlin teams win. Home game, underdog, season on the line, national attention. This is Tomlin territory. To break this matchup down deeper, Adam Zintek of A to Z Sports Buffalo helped identify the exact weaknesses the Steelers can attack and the adjustments Arthur Smith must make after last week's disaster. Zintek pointed out something the Steelers absolutely must take advantage of. Buffalo cannot stop the run right now. Not a little, not occasionally, they flat out cannot stop it. Here's what Zintek said. The Bills' defense is dealing with major injuries up front. Ed Oliver and Mike Hoke are out for the season. They're generating pressure, but they can't stop the run to save their lives. Steelers Nation, if Arthur Smith abandons the run this week the same way he did against the Bears, it will be coaching malpractice because Buffalo is missing key defensive linemen, giving up huge chunk plays on the ground, struggling with gap integrity, missing tackles left and right. Najee Harris and Jalen Warren should be licking their chops. Here's the scary part and the opportunity. Buffalo's offense can be explosive, but it can also be predictable, frantic, and disorganized when they fall behind. Zintek said, "The Bills struggle when they can't use James Cook properly. They're lacking a true number one threat for Allen, so Allen ends up doing too much." If that sounds familiar, it's because the Steelers just watched this happen with Chicago. According to Zintek, Buffalo struggles in pass protection. Allen is often scrambling for his life. The offense becomes one-dimensional, and teams that hit Allen early force him into mistakes. Houston just shut him down. Miami shut him down, and if Pittsburgh's defense shows up the way they did earlier this season, they can do the same. However, Zintek also warned, the Bills looked phenomenal against the Bucs. That's the version fans are hoping shows up. Translation, the Bills are inconsistent, but when they're hot, they're dangerous. Zintek's final prediction was Bills 32, Steelers 24. He believes the Bills bounce back behind Allen Jackson. He believes the injuries will hurt Pittsburgh. He believes this game will fall on the Steelers' defense. And honestly, he's right about one thing. This game comes down to whether Pittsburgh can contain number 17. If they hit Allen early, if they avoid big plays, if the run game keeps the Steelers' offense on schedule, and if Rodgers returns, even at 75%, the Steelers can absolutely win this game. But if Arthur Smith goes pass happy, abandons the run, and asks Mason Rudolph to play hero ball, Pittsburgh is toast. Steelers fans, something rare happened this week. Aaron Rodgers didn't just give a routine answer when asked about facing the Buffalo Bills. He didn't give a vague comment about mutual respect or one game at a time. No. Rodgers lit up. He admitted, flat out, that he is eager for this matchup. Not nervous, not cautious, not indifferent. Eager. And you know Rodgers, he doesn't throw words around casually. When he says something like that, it means something. According to Rodgers, Josh Allen is arguably the best player in the entire league. Think about that. One of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history, a four-time MVP, calling another QB the best in the world. That's not something Rodgers says often. Rodgers went further, praising Allen's growth, his leadership, the way he's carried Buffalo on his back year after year. He said Allen has become one of the most complete quarterbacks in football, and that facing him is the kind of test elite competitors dream about. But that wasn't the only reason Rodgers is fired up for Week 31. Rodgers wants the challenge and the trash talk. Steelers Nation, you're going to love this. Rodgers revealed that he's also excited because he and Josh Allen have a friendly rivalry off the field. They've got history, they've got respect, and they've got jokes. Rodgers said he can't wait to tease Allen about all the damn commercials he's in now. Classic Aaron Rodgers. And he's right.
Josh Allen is everywhere. Pizza commercials, cereal commercials, energy drinks, apparel, you name it. Rodgers couldn't resist the chance to poke fun at the Bills franchise quarterback and have a little fun before one of the biggest matchups on the AFC schedule. And honestly, that's the kind of quarterback energy Pittsburgh has been missing for years. Someone who wants the moment, someone who embraces the spotlight, someone who loves going up against the very best. Whether you love or hate Rodgers, one thing is undeniable. He elevates the intensity of every single game he plays in, a matchup that goes beyond stats. Now let's shift from the fun to the football, because this matchup isn't just about personality. This game is huge for both teams. The Steelers need a win to stay in striking distance in the AFC playoff race. The Bills, with all their inconsistency this season, are desperate to prove they can still compete with top-tier teams. And this quarterback duel, it's absolutely massive. Josh Allen, a freak athlete, huge arm, improvisational playmaking, nearly unstoppable when he's in rhythm. Aaron Rodgers, surgical precision, all-time football IQ, timeless accuracy, cold-blooded in big moments. These two don't just play the same position, they play completely different styles of quarterbacking. One is pure chaos and explosiveness, the other is calculation and mastery. And Rodgers knows that if he wants to get the Steelers' offense rolling again after a shaky Week 24, this is the perfect test. Rodgers respects Allen, but he wants to beat Allen. He talked about Allen with admiration, but he also spoke like a competitor, like someone who understands that Sunday isn't about friendship, it isn't about commercials, and it isn't about compliments. It's about proving that he can still go toe-to-toe with the most physically gifted quarterback in the league. It's about showing the AFC that Pittsburgh, even after some bumps, is still a team that can take down a heavyweight. And let's be honest, Steelers Nation, this game is a statement opportunity for Rodgers, for Arthur Smith's offense, for the entire locker room. What this means for the Steelers' offense. If Rodgers plays, and all signs point to him being at least close, this game becomes a chess match between two elite quarterbacks. But even if Rodgers doesn't play, his presence, his energy, and his competitive fire this week have already changed the tone in the building. Players are feeling the urgency. Coaches are adjusting the plan. Mason Rudolph has openly said he welcomes the clarity and leadership Rodgers brings. And here's the key. Rodgers wanting this matchup so badly means he's locked in mentally and emotionally. That matters a lot because the Steelers' offense hasn't been explosive lately. The deep ball disappeared. The timing routes are inconsistent. The red zone efficiency is shaky. But facing Josh Allen forces you to raise the bar. It forces you to match fire with fire. Rodgers knows that, and the team feels that. This is the biggest game of the Steelers season. This is the biggest injury update of the season, and this might be the week everything shifts. So now it's your turn to sound off. Do you think Aaron Rodgers should play in Week 31, even if he's limited? Do you trust Arthur Smith to fix last week's mistakes? Can the Steelers upset the Bills at home? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. And before you go, Steelers Nation, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a breaking Steelers update. Thank you for watching, and as always, here we go.